Hello and welcome to the Tonight Show. I know you all came here to see Jimmy Fallon as well as the Roots. They are amazing, aren't they? Unfortunately, shortly after filming the introduction, Jimmy suffered whiplash, and the Roots never showed up here. So you are stuck with the intern writer. Yay! And since I can only write jokes and not perform them, we're just gonna skip the opening monologue and go right to our introductions. So sit back and enjoy the show. It will be an exciting one. Today as our special guests, we have guests from the movie The Giant Tamer King. So please welcome to the stage actor/director Steven, as well as the rest of the main cast, Brandon, Hunter, Rachel, and Beth. So let's start with you, Steven. What made you decide to create this movie?
Well, I believe the answer is simple. With the great success with movies like Noah and Exodus, I believe that we can continue educating people about the Bible with a great story and a great movie.
That sounds wonderful.
It is.
Since the story is a few years old and well documented anyways, would you care to give us a rundown of the movie?
Well, the story of David is a very long story. It actually begins with the first king of Israel, Saul. He was sent by the prophet Samuel to destroy the Amalekites and everything that belonged to them. However, Saul did not listen to what the Lord had said and spared the king Agag, as well as the best sheep and cattle they owned. So the Lord rejects Saul and regretted that he made him king over Israel.
Yep, and so Samuel goes to Jesse of Bethlehem as God had chosen one of his sons to be anointed as the next king. All the sons except David passed by Samuel, and one by one the Lord tells Samuel that this isn't the next king. Finally, they call me in from taking care of the sheep. That is when I get anointed to be king. You do realize you're not actually David, you're just an actor, right?
Okay, anyway, Samuel anoints David, the Spirit of the Lord leaves Saul and goes crazy. David is summoned to play lyre for him. Saul is temporarily relieved of the evil spirit. David goes home, the Israelites and the Philistines begin to fight, and that's where Goliath comes in.
Alright, so let's finally get to see some of the movie, shall we? In this scene, you get to see my awesomeness in full display. Now keep in mind that Goliath was no ordinary warrior. He was closing in on nearly 10 feet tall, and his armor alone weighed nearly 125 pounds.
That's a lot of pounds.
Indeed it is.
He was raised to fight, and he was ready for this encounter with the much smaller, who probably lacked the training to fight like he did. Here, I believe the clip is 30 minutes or so of how awesome I was before David lands a lucky shot.
Actually, I believe I was supposed to introduce this scene because the producers thought that your blatant acts of narcissistic behavior could be narrowed down to this.
999, 1,000. All right, let's work some biceps now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sun's out, guns out. 5, 6. What do you guys want? You guys want to fight? Want to fight or something? Let's go. Come on. Come on, let's fight. Let's go. They scared. They real scared.
No one lose heart on account of this falsity. Your servant will go and fight.
You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are a young man, and he has been a warrior for this year.
Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or bear came after the sheep, I went after it and struck it. I rescued the sheep. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and bear will rescue me from the Philistine.
Then go, and the Lord be with you.
Come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, who you have defied this day. The Lord will deliver you in my hands.
I will finish you.
Ouch, sucks to be you, big man.
So after I killed Goliath, Saul didn't allow me to return home to my family. I was forced to live with Saul and his family. He put me in charge of thousands of men and sent us out on great campaigns. Each one was a success as I led the men.
You keep using I when you talk. What was your name again?
Well, I'm David, of course. Did you just see me in that recording?
Yes, I saw what you filmed, and once again, you do know this is just a movie, right? Fake. Let's have security escort you to the green room! Green room! To relax. Yep.
He's our best actor.
Well, I've never seen that happen on this show before. Alright, back to business. Rachel, you played Jonathan in this movie. Tell me, what was Jonathan's role in the story?
Alright, so even though Jonathan was 27-ish years older than David, they were best friends. And they did everything together while David lived with them. And while he was living with us, my dad actually became more obsessed with killing him. And since he was my best friend, I was like, dude, no. So I decided to save him.
And I believe we have a clip of this, correct? Let's take a look.
Why is David not here?
He asked me if he could go to Bethlehem because his family wants to observe the sacrifice, and that's why he's not here.
You son of a perverse and rebellious woman. As long as he is alive, you can't be king.
There goes Peter Gunn.
Reach by the stone, I'm going to shoot 3 arrows to the side of it like I was shooting at a target. Then, I'll send a boy after the arrows. And I say, look, they're on the side of you. Come back, and you'll be safe. But if I say, look, they are beyond you, you must run, for the Lord has sent you away. Okay. Run and find the arrows I shot. Okay. Isn't that the arrow beyond you? Hurry, go quickly, don't stop.
Amazing acting. I can't see at all why this isn't in theaters. I'll be honest with you, this is as much as I can take at the moment. So let's take a commercial break and here are welcome back, sponsors. So what happens to David as he runs away from Saul?
Well, after he flees, and he's on the run for about 4 years, and in these years, Saul chases David from hiding place to hiding place. But the most interesting things to occur during this time are that many of David's songs were written. He also spared the lives of Saul and Jonathan at least twice, even though they were kind of trying to get him and just end his life.
So while David was on the run from Saul, Saul was also in another conflict with the Philistines as they marched against Saul and Israel again. During this conflict, Saul and Jonathan were both killed. Even after all the things that Rachel mentioned, David still mourned their deaths, especially Jonathan's. Shortly thereafter, David proceeded to Hebron, where he was anointed to be king over Judah. At the same time, Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was anointed king over Israel. This led to a war breaking out between the two. Funny ending to this war, however. Assassins slay Ishbosheth and bring his head to David for a reward. Instead of rewarding them, however, he executes them for murder.
Funny! So let's hear about David as king.
David was king for approximately 40 years. He conquers a fortress that was built around Jerusalem and converts it into his capital. He brings the Ark of Covenant there and wants to build a temple for it. However, the prophet Nathan announced that it would actually be established by his son sometime later. Skip ahead a bit. David makes a big mistake. He notices a lady bathing on the roof. This next clip shows this interaction with Bathsheba, whereas we lovingly referred to her as Bathsheba. This last clip shows an amusing look at what the interaction with Bathsheba was like.
Now keep in mind that she is married already prior to meeting King David, and that makes things a bit messy when the king finds out that I'm pregnant. Watch what happens to my poor husband towards the end.
Who is that?
Isn't that Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam and the wife of Uriah the Hittite?
Go get her for me.
Hi, David.
Hi, Bathsheba.
Want anything around?
Wait a minute! Get out of here!
Your Majesty, you need to see me. I gotta get back to work.
Okay, so I gotta tell you, I'm sending you off the road. I already got you your things. Here's your shield. And here's your sword. You sure? Yes.
Have a good day.
Now, it'll be fun, and be safe.
Bye.
Did you really use a, 7-second scene on a loop? And were those Scottish and English soldiers? They looked a bit different than what I had imagined for the time period we're discussing here.
No, that was it. Artistically, I thought it was the right choice. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good movie.
All right, so what happens after Uriah dies?
Well, King David marries my character, Bathsheba. He also realizes how badly he had fallen away from God when the prophet Nathan showed up and put him in his place. The two lost their first child. I'm sure that was difficult to deal with. But they did eventually have another son, Solomon, who would replace his father David on the throne.
Well, even though the acting was there,
I directed it.
I could tell. it does seem you did a bit of homework on the life of David. Are there any last thoughts you would like to share before we call it an evening?
I think that the biggest thing that we all can get from David's story is how close he was to God. Through his trust in God as he fought against the odds and many enemies, his friendships, his loneliness as king, even when he realized how badly he messed up, he worked to reestablish his connection to God, begging for forgiveness. Unlike his predecessor Saul, David worked throughout his life to remain connected to God.
Well, thank you all for your time. It has been a pleasure hearing the information that you have gained while filming this movie. I hope that it gains great traction in the direct-to-DVD market. And that concludes our show for the evening. Once again, a special shout out to Jimmy. Please get better soon. Yes?
So, I'm on TV, and I was thinking I could do a thing.
Do we have a thing for them to do?
Yes.
Do the thing.
Brandon, you want to go first?
You can go first.
I'll go
I like
first.
seeing my competition.
Okay.
What even is this thing?
First track, please.
I'm scared.
Hello.
You should be. It's Steven for crying out loud.
That was definitely a thing. Congratulations. I know, sadly. I regret letting them do the thing. No!
Did I
No encores.
Did I win?
No.
Did I win?
No.
Nobody won.
No.
I won.
And that, once again, hopefully concludes our show for the evening. Once again, a special shout out to Jimmy. Again, please get soon better soon. That
I didn't direct that.
they
Special
messed with my mind. I blame them. To the Roots, I hope you find our new studio. And finally, to the producers,
I direct
where do you
music.
find these people?
I direct music too. We can do music. Want to do music? What? We just do music.
Good night, everybody.
People versus Cain. People versus Cain.
I am here to prove that Cain is guilty of murdering his brother Abel out of envy for his offering to God.
You are accused of murder your brother Abel. How do you plead?
You want carrot? Best in the land?
No, I'm good.
Sure. Good.
I'm pretty good.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Maybe later after this is done.
Your Honor, we plead guilty by reason of temporary insanity due to eating mushrooms earlier that day.
There's not going to be a drug test after this, is there?
Cain, sit down.
Prosecutor, present your case.
We have a witness who will testify to the fact that Cain was angry with his brother Abel because the Lord looked on Abel's offerings with favor and did not favor Cain's. Your Honor, we call Bradley to the stand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes. I saw Cain the other day right after he came back from bringing his offering of old wilted produce to the land. He looked angry and his face was definitely downcast.
Your Honor, we also have evidence linking Cain to the possible murder weapon. We found his fingerprints on the following items. Bailiff, please bring in Exhibit A.
Your Honor, I object. That isn't even in this time period.
Here we have a broken chainsaw, presumably broken after the murder of Abel. Bailiff, please bring in Exhibit 2. I mean, B. Here we have a metal hammer with a wooden shaft, presumably used. What? Craftsman, of course. Lifetime warranty on that bad boy. However, the lifetime warranty is up because Abel is dead due to that hammer.
It doesn't even
please bring
belong
in
to my
Exhibit
client.
C.
Noted.
That doesn't even belong to my client. It belongs to Abel.
Noted.
Bailiff, please bring in Exhibit C. Here we have a baseball bat.
Baseball doesn't exist yet.
Noted.
Here we have a cricket bat, paddle, softball bat.
That doesn't exist yet either.
Here we have a stick. Bailiff, please bring in Exhibit D. Alright, now we have an axe, similar to the hammer but sharp. Better for, yes, grooming and killing Abel. Bailiff, please bring in the final exhibit, I believe. Oh, never mind. Please bring in Exhibit E. We were made familiar with these in the last presentation, and they're really good at killing Goliaths, but in this case it killed Abel.
Cain doesn't know how to work a slingshot.
Noted.
Please bring in the next exhibit. F, I believe. Ah yes, a Japanese sword.
That belongs in a whole nother time period, yet again.
Noted.
Strange, because I'm pretty sure it was used to kill Abel. Okay, bailiff, keep him coming. Alright, we're down to our final piece of evidence here. Here we have a state-of-the-art rock, presumably used to bash in Abel's head.
My client has a rock collection.
Noted.
Thank you. Your Honor, we have just been presented with new evidence. Video surveillance has been recovered that proves without a doubt that on the last day of Abel's life, Cain was seen walking with him with one of the weapons, the rock, in his hand.
Could have picked it up for his rock collection.
Exhibit X.
Your Honor, this was not disclosed. Can we have a recess?
Yes, but make it quick.
Court's in session. But these carrots are pretty good. Thanks, Cain.
Your Honor, the prosecution rests its case.
Your Honor, as we said, Cain was temporarily insane due to eating mushrooms from his crop. We would like to call Dr. Oz to the stand.
I do.
So you're a medical expert.
Yeah.
Okay. Does the drug mushrooms cause an exaggeration of emotions?
Yes.
Will they prevent someone from thinking through their actions?
Yes.
Could they cause someone to do something out of character? Nothing further.
Have you personally had any experience with mushrooms? Do you believe that mushrooms force one to eat them?
Yes.
What's your favorite kind of mushrooms?
Fried.
You can go sit down. Thank you.
We call Cain to the stand.
So these carrots are pretty good. Oh, okay, thanks.
Is it true that you were not aware of the dangers of consuming mushrooms?
Not at the time.
Do you have a rock collection? Cain, that was not the question. Do you have a rock collection?
Yeah, I have a lot of rocks.
Great.
Funky ones, big ones, shiny ones.
And you stumble across them as you work the soil,
Mm-hmm.
and you get your offerings to the Lord from the soil.
Yeah.
So when your brother gets a better offering because he keeps flocks, that makes you somewhat jealous, correct?
Maybe.
Is it true that your brother's offering was definitely considered better in the Lord's eyes?
It looked better.
Thank you. No further questions.
So you do in fact have a rock collection.
Yeah, I do. I don't see how that has anything to do with it.
Did this happen to come from your rock collection?
What are you doing with Brett?
He's here with evidence.
Kind of back when you're done.
Yeah, he was witness to a crime, so. Has he been distressed at all lately over some things he might have seen, been a part of?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Did I ever say these carrots are pretty good?
Yeah, they are. I think of that.
Closing argument will commence.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I am here today to say that Cain Adamson is guilty of killing his brother, Abel Adamson, out of envy for his offerings to God and the effect that those had in drawing favor towards him with God. I believe that it was of his own accord to eat mushrooms. As the medical experts said, fried mushrooms are great, and you say those things if you mean to eat them. So with that said, I believe that mushrooms is not a valid excuse because clearly Cain Adamson enjoys eating mushrooms and should have been aware of the consequences of those juicy fried mushrooms.
Cain, I got you.
People of the jury. Cain Adamson had wandered upon some mushrooms that forced him into a terrible decision. It's not his fault that he was not aware of the dangers in which he was consuming. Find him guilty by reason of insanity, not guilty because he felt like it.
Cain, step forward for your sentencing. What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now you are under a curse and driven from the ground, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops for you. You will be restless and wander on the earth.
My punishment is more than I can bear. Today you are driving me from the land, and I will be hidden from your presence. I will be a restless wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me.
Not so. Anyone who kills Cain will suffer vengeance 7 times over. I will put this mark on you so that no one finds you will kill you. Thanks for the carrots, though.